Hello everyone, welcome to the F7 revision series for March 2021 examinations. Starting from today, every day I will be posting one lecture which will cover around 50 to 60% of the important concepts in your F7 syllabus. Kindly subscribe to the channel so that you are updated with the lectures that are being uploaded every day. If you have any doubts or if you want any specific topic to be included in the revision series, kindly comment down in the comments below. So, let us start with the F7 revision series with full power. We are clearing the exams in March 2021. The very first topic that I am covering is IAS 16, Property, Plant and Equipment. What do you mean by property, plant and equipment? Property, plant and equipment are tangible assets used in the furtherance of business and which are used for more than 1 year. For example, I am into coaching business. In my office, I have tables and chairs. Am I selling those tables and chairs? No. I am using it. Using it for what? My business. I am using it in the furtherance of my business. If I was selling tables and chairs, that would become my inventory. But here, it will be my property, plant and equipment. It is used for more than 1 year. It also says that IAS 16 includes bearer plants. Now what are bearer plants? Let me take the example of an apple tree. I have the apple tree, it bears the fruits. I cut off the fruits every year and sell it off in the open market. But the tree stays with me forever. I am using the tree in the furtherance of my business. Hence, that also qualifies as property, plant and equipment under IAS 16. But what does IAS 16 exclude? It excludes plants for agricultural use, mineral ores and assets held for sale. Suppose I have used certain assets, they are no longer used in my business. What do? I hold it for selling those assets. Hence, that will be excluded under IAS 16. Because what does IAS 16 say? It is used in the furtherance of business. Am I using these assets? No. Hence, they will be excluded. Next is what? Recognition of these assets. What do you mean by recognition? Recognition means how, at what amount and how will these assets be presented in the books of accounts or in your balance sheet. The very first thing, recognition can be of two types. First is initial recognition. What do you mean by initial recognition? When you are buying the asset, the very first time that you are entering it into your books of accounts, that is known as initial recognition. Now, to be recognized only if, when will you recognize it in your books of accounts? There are two criterias. The first thing is, from that asset you have expected future economic benefits. Future economic benefits means what? You are going to get something in return in monetary form. Okay, from the tables and chairs I will get my students who will pay me fees, and costs can be measured reliably. I have bought the tables and chairs for 50,000, so I know exactly at what amount should I be entering it into my books of accounts. How do you recognize it initially? What should be the amount? The amount includes basic purchase price, all the import duties, all other costs until installation. This is very important. All other costs until installation, all the traveling charges, all the freight, everything will be included in the cost of the assets. Next is what? Initial estimates of disposal costs. What is important? Initial, not the ones which you are selling it off and at that time you know what are the disposal costs. Initial disposal costs, initial estimates. Okay, note is what? All major items to be recognized separately. Example of an aeroplane. In an aeroplane you have the chairs inside. okay, you have the wheels. Everything has a different useful life. So what do? You account for the chairs separately, you account for the tires separately. Next is subsequent recognition. Subsequent means what? The first year is done. After that, how do you recognize property, plant and equipment in your books of accounts? Subsequently, you are incurring certain expenditure. Example, to my tables and chairs, I have done a little bit of polishing. Do you think it is adding any value to the asset? No, it is just improving the looks, but it is not adding any value to it. That is why only if the expenditure is adding value to the asset, add it to the carrying amount of the asset. Else it will be assumed it is an expenditure and will be debited to your profit and loss account. Next, subsequent recognition. How do you recognize it subsequently? Cost less accumulated depreciation. Cost less accumulated depreciation is also known as carrying amount, or you can also recognize it at revalued amount. What do you mean by revalued amount? Revaluation means that you are revaluing your asset. Revalue means what? Suppose in my books of accounts it is seen at 100, the asset is seen at 100. Now the value is something else. The current market price is something else. Hence I am revaluing it. How do I revalue it? Now the very important factor that needs to be considered here is revaluation is unrealized profits. Means what? You are not earning it. You are just taking up the value of the asset. These are unrealized profits. What is the difference between realized and unrealized profits? Realized profits can be used for distributing dividend to the shareholders, whereas unrealized profits can never be used for distribution as dividend. Is that clear? Now, how do you do revaluation? Revaluation is comparing the carrying value with the market price. Now, do you think revaluation means only increasing the value? No, it also means decreasing the value. Now, we will understand the journal entries with respect to revaluation. This is a very important part of your syllabus. Please have 100% attention here. Okay. Now, revaluation can be done first time as well as post that we can keep revaluing our assets. I have explained it with the help of examples. Example, I am revaluing my asset for the very first time in the life of the asset. Upward revaluation, for example, I am revaluing upwards by 1000. Okay. If the value of my asset is increasing, I will debit the asset, right? Fixed asset account debit 1002. What do I have to do? I am increasing the value. So I will create one account which is known as revaluation surplus. Is this a realized profit? No, this is unrealized profit. So what will be the entry? Fixed asset account debit to revaluation surplus account. The first time revaluation is done. After that, in the next year, what happens is again I am revaluing my asset. I am revaluing it again by 2000. Okay. So how will I revalue it? Again the same entry, fixed asset account debit to revaluation surplus 2000. But now what is happening? The second situation says last year I had revalued it upwards, but now I want it to be downwards. Okay? How will I do it? Revaluation. Okay, now the fixed asset, the value is reducing by how much? 1500. Wait, I will make the journal entry in front of you. As per concept of prudence, if there is any loss, okay, if there is any loss, we directly debit it to my profit or loss account. So logically what I have to do, profit and loss account debit 1500 to my asset account, right, 1500. This is what we do as per concept of prudence, that recognize losses immediately in profit and loss account. But what is happening here? The same asset I am showing profit of 1000, the same asset I am showing loss of 1500. Is this the right way of presenting it? No. So what do I do? First, the very first thing, I will reverse the revaluation surplus. How much revaluation surplus I will reverse? Just a second. 1000. Why? Because I am showing a profit before. Asset is reducing by 1500. I have reversed revaluation surplus. Balance will go to profit or loss account. Balance is how much? 500. So this 500 is my balancing figure. I hope you all have understood this. If you all haven't understood this, kindly rewind the video and watch the concept again. Now, the second situation says what? The second situation says, in the first year, I am doing downward revaluation of 1000. As per concept of prudence, recognize losses immediately in the statement of profit or loss. I have to show a loss of 1000. So what do I have to do? Profit and loss account debit 1000 to fixed asset 1000. First year I have revalued it downwards. Next year what I am doing? Revaluating it upwards. How am I revaluating it upwards? 1500. Okay, so what happens? Fixed asset will be debited by 1500 because I am increasing the value by 1500. But initially I have shown a loss of 1000. Can I show profit and loss, two separate things at the same time? No. So that is the reason why in the first year the loss that I had shown debited 1000, now I will credit it to profit and loss account 1000, and the balancing figure to revaluation surplus will be credited with 500. So these two situations are really very important where the examiner will normally test you. So I would suggest rewind the lecture again, look at these two situations once again. Okay, last year I had done a downward revaluation. Now again I am doing a downward revaluation. So the entries remain the same. Profit or loss account debit 1000 to fixed asset account 1000. I hope this is clear. Please revise this topic because this is the place where the examiner will definitely ask a question. This is the place where most of the students make mistakes. Okay, revaluation. Now up I had done revaluation where there was no depreciation. Suppose there is depreciation. How would you do the revaluation? Revaluation on depreciable assets. Now how is the calculation done? I have given you all the step-by-step procedure. Kindly pause the video and note down the steps so that before going for the examination you can revise it very quickly. Step number 1, you have to do what? Cost, the initial cost of your asset less depreciation. The very important thing is up to the date of revaluation. You always have to calculate depreciation up to the date of revaluation. You will get carrying amount on the date of revaluation. Step number 2, on the date of revaluation you will finally have to revalue your asset. So revalue your asset. How do you revalue it? Either it is upward revaluation or downward revaluation. Next is what? Step number 3, calculate new depreciation amount on revalued amount. Okay, now what do you have to do? You have to calculate the new revaluation, the new depreciation amount on the revalued asset. After that, calculate the difference between old and new depreciation. So new depreciation less old depreciation whatever is the extra depreciation as per step number 4, you will have to say what? That it has been realized. The profit has been realized. Like I told you, reevaluation is an unrealized profit as per IAS 16 in the case of depreciable assets. In case of reevaluation, the extra depreciation is assumed to be realized. Okay, assume that the profits are realized and hence transferred to owner's equity. How do you transfer it? From revaluation surplus account to retained earnings. Okay, this calculation you have to do every year. Okay, you have to do this every year. Okay, wait, I'll explain from where to where. Starting from step number 4, you have to do these calculations. Do these calculations every year from date of revaluation. Is that clear? This is also a very important part where most of the times the students miss out on this. One basic thing is new depreciation minus old depreciation. Only if the new depreciation is greater than the old depreciation, you will pass these journal entries. Otherwise, you won't. Okay. So, the very important note here is what? New depreciation is greater than old depreciation. This is very important. Only in this case will you pass these journal entries. Okay, pause the video, take down the notes. Okay, next is what? Overhauls. What do you mean by overhauls? Overhauls means any additions to the machinery. Like I previously said, if it is increasing the value of your asset, please add it to the carrying amount of the asset. Example, in case of a plane, the tires are replaced very frequently. In that case, if it is adding value to my asset, what will I do? I will add the cost of the replaced asset into the carrying amount of my asset. Is that clear? Retirement or disposal of assets. What do you mean by retirement or disposal of assets? Retirement, I am no longer using the asset, or disposal means I am selling off the asset. In this case, what do? I remove the assets from my balance sheet, and on selling those assets, whatever is the profit or loss, what will I do? I will debit it or credit it to my profit or loss account accordingly. Is that clear? Now, the next is depreciation, which I will take up in the next lecture. So for now, please revise the lecture. Just in case you have any doubts, please comment below, or you can even email it to me. I am leaving down the email in the description box. Thank you so much. Have a great day.